the Black Lives Matter movement, and the George Floyd death, but more importantly, a tribute to John Lewis. And so today's class is going to deal primarily with some art, music, dance, dealing with Black Lives Matter. And then on next Tuesday, I'm going to be presenting an original piece to a poem called A Bronzeville Mother Loiters in Mississippi. Meanwhile, a Mississippi mother burns bacon, dealing with the death of Emmett Till. And Stephanie Thibault, who is the head of the dance program at UALR, will be one of the dancers. Maria Carruthers, who did a lot of work for the Historic Museum, storyteller, dancer, will be the other dancer. Angola Gray, who was a drama teacher at Central High School, will do the vocal, and her mother, Lady Georgia, will do the gospel background, and Tim Anthony will mix it all together for us for an original piece that is now on YouTube, but we're going to show that next Tuesday. I don't know if those people are here. Is Amaria out there? I don't see her, but maybe she is. Stephanie, I think, is out there someplace. Tim. All of those people will be here next Tuesday for sure, and we're going to show that video. Should be very, very interesting. And Emmett Till in the 1950s he fomented really the civil rights movement, and he is the George Floyd of the civil rights movement. So that'll be next Tuesday. But today I want to share, if I can get past this, this is Ron Barra, my friend, and he is reuniting with John Lewis. So they were both freedom riders, and I don't know whether they met in Arkansas first. If Ron is out there, he could tell us. But look at the look of Clark Tucker. Like, what is he doing here? And who is he? But anyway, they were freedom riders together, and they reunited about, I think when John was here, about, what, it was about 6-7 months ago that John was here. So that was part of it. But I want to show you a scene from the National Memorial for Peace and Justice. And keep in mind that the early part of this presentation, things might get a little bit disturbing with some of the visuals. But as we move through the presentation, you're going to see some absolutely beautiful things as well. And we're going to end on a real upbeat at the end of this. But anyway, I'm going to show a clip of this and then ask Susan to comment, since she was there, I think last year. Susan, was it last year?
Yes, it was in November.
November, okay. I'm going to have Susan talk a little bit about her experience after you look at the video.
All of us cannot stand here, but each can bow our heads and pray silently for a moment. Talk to God in your own way for a moment. Talk to God in your own way. Talk to God even now. This memorial challenges the darkness.
Slavery in America was violent, traumatizing, and tragic. It lasted for over 2 centuries, creating a wound that has not healed. After emancipation, Black people were re-enslaved through Jim Crow laws, disenfranchised and unprotected by the rule of law. There was great suffering. But nothing maintained racial inequality more than lynching. Thousands of Black people were drowned, burned, shot, and hanged. Millions fled the American South as refugees. We've been silent about lynching for too long. It's time to end the silence, to memorialize those who died, who fled, who feared the terror our nation tolerated. Only by acknowledging the truth of our past can we have hope for our future. That is the purpose of the National Memorial for Peace and Justice. This is its faith dedication, the blessing of this space.
We gather this morning to remember. We gather this morning in festive and solemn joy to remember and to make present those ancestors, those foremothers and forefathers who made this place and so many places in our country sacred by the sacrifice of their blood. We gather to remember all those whose names are known, but we also gather to remember those whose names are known only by their God.
And we have equality. We have walked through the shadows of death.
But we know the Legacy Museum and this memorial help uncover the truth and help us remember. We remember that pushing Black folks around, that controlling and containing and hurting and humiliating and terrorizing and traumatizing was and is deliberate strategy, state strategy. And only when we acknowledge that truth, when we remember that reality, will we be able to loosen the chokehold of white supremacy over this nation.
We had to walk all by ourselves, but we'll never turn back. No, we'll never turn back. We have hung hard.
Whether it was the Middle Passage where millions of people were thrown overboard, was it slavery itself where many times slaves were beaten in front of families, in front of children, in front of pregnant women to send a message of fear? Or this legacy of Jim Crow where they used lynching as a tool to control the economics of the community? And now we know today that we are talking about mass incarceration, and it is the same racialized terror. It is the same racialized terror. That is an opportunity where they put fear into the people to ensure control. This memorial is a place that memorializes and remembers that terrorism exists here in this country.
We have hung our heads and cried for all those like Lee who died for you and died for me.
We believe that in the soil there is the sweat of those who were enslaved. In the soil is the blood of those who were lynched. In the soil are the tears of those who were humiliated during segregation. But in the soil we have collected, we can plant something, and it can grow, and it can be beautiful, and it can nurture us, and it can feed us and lead us into a new era.
Died for the cause of equality, but we'll never turn back.
I'm standing here with Brian today to say that that's our challenge. And every time you look at one of these people, they're not just crying out to be remembered for the lynching that took place. They're crying out to say to you, you can do better. We can do better. We can create the beloved community. We can create a place where all of us can thrive. We can create that world if we stand together and work together and believe together and hope together and dream together for that very day where all justice rolls down like a mighty rivers and righteousness like a mighty stream.
No, we'll never turn back until we've all been free and we have
I can't even imagine how powerful that must have been. Susan, you were there, right?
Yes, my friend Patty and I, we journeyed to Montgomery, and I want to say that we also saw the Legacy Museum there in Montgomery, which I would encourage you all to see too. But it was pouring rain, and it was a dark day, and we had our raincoats on, and we approached those statues of the slaves where you saw them being tortured and in chains. And I think that you first look and see all of these hanging pillars, and then you see that 4,400 Black people were hanged and lynched. And you look, and then you start to, the thinking and the feeling starts, and the grieving. Each of those pillars holds names on it, hundreds of names. And in Arkansas, where it's by county, so you could actually go to a county and see how many people were lynched in that county. And it was really about, for us, I think I can speak for Patty, truth telling, the truth of, you can see what happened between, 1877 and 1850 or 1950, where all of these people were lynched. So the people there that were there to answer questions encouraged us to just look forward. In order for us to deal with the past, and we have to look forward, we have to deal with the past, and this is the past for all of us. And so it was, I think there was some shame involved in it for me, that I'm a white because of my whiteness. But the people there were like, you don't need to feel shame. You just need to work.
Acknowledge that it happened. Acknowledged
it, and also know that all of us are working towards equal justice and equality for all. And that's what we want you to take away.
Right. Okay, I appreciate that. I'm going to move on now to, let's see, I'm going to move on to what? Nothing? I have nothing. Okay, let's see. Let's go to...
Go ahead and go to Zoom again.
I'm sorry?
Go to Zoom.
Yeah, I'm okay. Right here. Okay. Can you see it?
Yes. And then go ahead and share screen again, and let's see if we can get started there again.
Yeah, so you've lost my screen?
Yes.
We're back?
Yes. You'll need to play the PowerPoint. There you go. Awesome.
All right, now I don't have to do that little thing about selecting again, do I?
You might just double check.
No, I can't get out of here. Okay, well, let me see if I can get to Strange Fruit. No, I can't move it again. We're back to that problem we had before where I'm locked out. Do you remember how we got out of here?
I think you had to force restart your computer again. But can you change to Zoom or any other application? Oh, it changed screen.
Yeah. Okay, we're okay now.
All right.
I'm going to go ahead and let this play, and then I'll talk about it afterwards.
Southern trees bear strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the road. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze. Strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Pastoral scene of the gallant South, the bulging eyes and the twisted mouth, scent of magnolia, sweet and fresh. Then the sudden smell of burning flesh. Here is a fruit for the crows to pluck, for the rain to gather, for the wind to suck, for the sun to rot, for the tree to drop. Here's a strange and bitter
Equally disturbing, correct? Now, a lot of people think that Billie Holiday wrote that song. She did not. It was a Jewish civil rights activist in Brooklyn in the early 40s who was so disturbed by the images of the lynchings that he wrote down the song. He wrote as a poem and then wrote it as a song, and then Billie Holiday picked it up and got all kinds of flack and was told she could not sing the song. She did and went ahead and did it in the, there was a Bureau of Narcotics agent that planted narcotics in her home, got her arrested and thrown into jail. But it's a tragic story. I just wish we had more time to talk about that, but we don't. I want to talk a little bit about the song Young, Gifted, and Black and let Nina Simone introduce you to how she came about writing the song. She was going to mention Lorraine Hansberry, as you know, wrote Raisin in the Sun and is the first African-American female to have a play on Broadway. She also would refer to Billie Holiday and Langston Hughes, but we won't have time to go that far. But listen to her talk about how she wrote this song.
Morning, quite recently, there was an article in the New York Times on Lorraine Hansberry and a play downtown off Broadway called To Be Young, Gifted, and Black, produced by her. And there was a picture of her there. And it was a picture that I have seen many times before. But photography, as you know, has its own way of communicating, just its own mediums do. And all I can tell you is that this picture caught hold of me, and in her eyes, this will sound very strange, but not to people who are really hip, she kept trying to tell me something. I was sitting on the bed, and I remember distinctly saying, I would keep looking at the picture and keep looking at the picture And of course, the memory of being with her many times kept flooding back in my memory. But I said, and I remember, inspiration is a very strange thing. Sometimes it just happens like a light. And I remember getting a feeling in my body. And I said, that's it. To be young, gifted, and black, that's all. And sat down at the piano at that moment and made up a tune. And it just flowed out of me. I knew what I wanted it to say in essence, but I couldn't get the words together. So I called up my musical director and told him what was on my mind, explained to him a little bit about Lorraine Hansberry because he didn't know her. And he captured the mood, and the song was born less than 2 days later. And that's been less than a month ago. So I really think that she gave it to me. That's what I mean when I say that.
To be young, gifted and black. Oh, what a lovely, precious dream. To be young, gifted and black. Open your heart to what I mean. You shouldn't leave now. In the whole world, you know, there's a million boys and girls who are young, gifted and black, and that's a fact.
Well, I wish I had more time to show you the whole piece, because when she ends that, the audience just goes nuts. It's terrific to watch the video. You can go to YouTube actually and see that video with Nima, with Simone. Here's Jennifer Hudson's. Oh, bring it, huh? Okay, I want to show you a little bit. Mickey Guyton is an African-American country western singer. Now imagine that in a white male-dominated profession. And she's going to sing the song Black Like Me. And Amaria Carruthers has put together a movement piece to go with this. And I want you to see what she's done. Amaria, you're out there someplace. I know you're there, but your microphone, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, okay, so this is Amaria, and she'll be dancing with Stephanie Tebow, who's also there someplace. Nope.
Hi, I'm here.
Okay, she's there. Okay, now they're both going to be dancing next week on Tuesday with this original dance piece that they put together. But this is Amaria's movement piece to go with Mickey Guyton's song Black Like Me.
Kid in a small town, I did my best just to fit in. Broke my heart on the playground when they said I was different. Oh, now I'm all grown up and nothing has changed. Yeah, it's still the same. It's a hard life on easy street. Just white painted picket fence as far as you can see. If you think we live in the land of the free, you should try to be black like me. My daddy worked day and night for an old house and a used car, just to live that good life. It shouldn't be twice as hard. Oh, now I'm all grown up and nothing has changed. Yeah, it's still the same. It's a white painted picket as far as you can see. If you think we live in the land of the free, you should try to be, oh, black like me. Just by painted picket fences, far as you can see. And if you think we live in a land of the free, you should try to be, oh, black like me. Oh, and someday we'll all be free, and I'm proud to be, oh, black like me, and I'm proud to be.
Oh, I'm proud of you, Maria.
Thank you for the opportunity. You made it look beautiful.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, you and Stephanie and Tim, all of us worked on that together. But nice job. I've known Maria for 45 years and just found out I've been misspelling her name. Been spelling it Amari because she is Maria to me. And it's spelled with an E. But just found out too that that's the way your mother would like to have had it spelled. But anyway, it's a beautiful name and you're beautiful. And I love what you did with the dance.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you, of course, on the next video with you and Stephanie and all the rest.
Yes.
Okay, I want you to watch this clip from Amanda Gorman. I didn't know that there was a youth poet laureate, but she is. And I think she's amazing. And she's doing this piece in the African American Museum in Los Angeles. And I think she does an incredible job of writing this poem and delivering the poem. And then at the end, for the last 50 seconds, there's a piece of music that I'm going to play the whole piece after she finishes, but I think you'll find it interesting.
You will be told this is not the problem, not your problem. You will be told that now is not the time for change to begin, told that we cannot win. But the point of protest isn't winning. It's holding fast to the promise of freedom, even when fast victory isn't promised. Meaning we cannot stand up to police if we cannot cease policing our imagination, convincing our communities that this won't work before the work has even begun, that this can wait when we've already waited out 1,000 suns.
I'm a black man in a white world. 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 I'm a black man in a white world.
By now, we understand that white supremacy and the despair it demands are as destructive as any disease. So when you're told that your anger is reactionary, remember that rage is our right. It teaches us it is time to fight in the face of injustice.
The community pissed off, there's gonna be some hell.
anger natural, but necessary because it helps carry us to a destination. Our goal has never been revenge, just restoration, not dominance, just dignity, not fear, just freedom, just justice.
The greatness of America is the right to protest far right.
Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose. Yeah. Freedom, freedom, where are you? 'Cause I need freedom too.
Whether we prevail is determined not by all the challenges that are present, but by all the change that is possible.
I'ma keep on running 'cause the winner don't quit on themselves.
And while we are unstoppable, if we ever feel like we might fail, if we be fatigued and frail, when our fire can no longer be fueled by fury, we will be fortified by this faith found in the anthem, the vow.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
All Black lives matter. Black lives are worth living, worth defending, worth every struggle. We owe it to the fallen to fight. But we owe it to ourselves to never stay kneeling when the day calls us to stand together. We envision a land that is liberated, not lawless. We create a future that is free, not flawless. Over and over, again and again, we will stride up every mountainside, magnanimous and modest. We will be protected and served by a force that is honored and honest. This is more than protest. It's
my favorite colors.
a promise.
There's a lot of hope in that young woman's voice. And all my favorite colors is what this whole presentation is all about, praising John Lewis and what he's doing. But I want you to hear this last song as you appreciate my family, a Latino granddaughter, an African-American granddaughter, 2 Caucasian grandchildren. I have a Native American Yosemite Indian cousin. I don't have an Asian. I can't get any of these kids to give me Asian. They get your own. But anyway, the Rainbow Family. And then here's the song Color. In that with my sisters and my brothers. And when we become sisters and brothers, we're going to be one people, one nation, and we're going to be great. As if Ron Barrett, I don't know whether he ever got in or not. Are you in, Ron? Maybe not. But anyway, is he there?
I'm in.
Okay, well, this is a tribute to John Lewis and you and the Freedom Riders, as well as a whole presentation on the importance of us becoming brothers and sisters. And look at the look, Ron. I don't know what's going on with Tucker's face.
Well, he was standing there, and when I was talking with Representative Lewis, and I had gotten to the point where I thanked him again for inspiring me when I had seen him and Dr. King in Washington in 1963. And he said, you're going to make me cry.
Oh, that's good. It's a good cry.
And
this guy makes me cry.
And that leaded to that embrace where he thanked me for becoming involved. I had talked to him that hearing that speech, it instilled in me, the two of them had gotten the message across. To become actively involved, if you believe in something strong enough. And just before he hugged me, and we were both crying. I'm
Right.
sorry.
You can see that.
He said, he thanked me, but said, there's not many of us left, and our work is not done. And the fact he said, us,
Right.
really included me.
Well, that was what John Lewis was all about, I think. That kind of humility and letting everyone else know how powerful their voice can be, and then being a model of what to do and modeling it every day of his life.
Yeah, I mean, we talked as though we had been lifelong friends.
Right, yeah.
And when he passed, it was very personal to me, as you can hear.
Yeah, thanks, Ron. Okay, Gina, we're going to have to check out of here because she's going to make us leave. Next week, Stephanie and Maria, Tim Anthony, and Agnolia Gay, and Lady Georgia are going to entertain you with Gwendolyn Brooks, Pulitzer Prize winning Gwendolyn Brooks, the first African-American female to win the Pulitzer Prize for poetry. Will be up and performing next Tuesday. Okay, guys?
Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you, Wayne.
Can I just say a quick word? What I've heard this morning was this. It was outstanding. It was historical. It was educational. It was motivating. It was informative, moving, emotional, and this was memorable. Wayne Chapman, thank you.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you.
Agreed.
Excellent.
I'm going to take that as the ultimate compliment. Thank you,
It
Denny. I
is.
really appreciate it.
Thank you
It was
so
meant
much.
that way.
Yes, thank you
Thank you,
all.
guys.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Wayne.
see you next Tuesday. Love you all.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.